These are the moments so unsettling, they push the limits of what you can even show online. Creepy shadow figures, disturbing creatures in the dark, and bone-chilling clips that will make your skin crawl. In this mysterious clip, a famous Korean influencer is shown to be very happy. She can be seen enjoying the rain, but then the clip cuts to her sitting outside a store, alone. Her head was between her lap, and she looked distraught. The footage was recorded by another individual who saw her sitting alone and said she might even be crying. The video's description mentioned something rather strange. The store she was standing outside belonged to her father. Because of her online personality, he cut ties with her, and apparently she went back to Korea after 5 years and found out he had passed away. Unfortunately, that story couldn't be proven, which only makes this video more enigmatic. Folklore ghost.
Mana bila peka ya terhadap hal-hal seperti.
3 friends had gone inside the forest of Gorontalo, Indonesia, because they kept on hearing the stories of Pocong from their parents. The actual video is 35 minutes long, but at around the 22-minute mark, this is what they came across. There was a figure standing between a couple of trees, wrapped in a white cloth that was tied with robes at different sections. Since they thought it was just a prank by the elders to scare teenagers from going into the forest alone, they approached it. However, you can see them getting a bit frightened.
Sosok ini. Assalamualaikum.
And just as they were just a few feet away, this white figure moved. This creeped them out, and the creature known as Pocong started moving more and more. So they ran out of this forest and shared the video on TikTok.
Memang banyak sekali sosoknya di sini. Banyak.
Yeah.
Oke.
Haunting customer. This video gets stranger by the second, because in the video, a woman can be seen making food at her stall, but her customer is not entirely human. It was recorded somewhere in Malaysia at around 10:30 p.m. as she was about to close her stall for the night. She couldn't as an unknown creepy being showed up with disheveled dark hair, unidentifiable facial features, and dirty white gown. This woman had no choice but to serve this haunting customer. Netizens said this customer was a churel. However, churels are more common in places like India or Pakistan. In Malaysia, they aren't really seen. So, who was this creepy customer? Halloween haunting. Halloween decorations are easy to take down. Some things aren't. A TikTok user shared home CCTV footage of a woman relaxing on the couch until her legs suddenly shot up, as if yanked by an invisible hand. She believed an evil presence had started following her family during Halloween. Things only got worse until they moved out for good. If she's right, whatever came home with them never got the memo about the holiday ending. Disturbing encounter. After hearing stories about a haunted shed, a paranormal investigator decided to investigate, and that was her biggest mistake. She saw a frightening creature with long gray hair.
Astagfirullah. Bang Anton, jangan terlalu dekat Bang Anton. Mundur, Bang Anton. Mundur.
And what's even more chilling was her body, like it had peeled its own skin off. It looked raw and disfigured. The creature crawled out of the shed on all fours, and the two of them had a standoff, but something even stranger happened. Suddenly, the woman got cursed by this evil creature, but thanks to her team, they managed to save her, and as soon as she recovered, they ran out of there. Scary encounter. In Mexico, home security footage shows a woman sorting through a box in her living room with a strange doll hanging on the wall behind her. Suddenly, she got yanked backwards by something unseen. Dragged across the floor as she tried to break free and escape. She eventually broke free and ran out of the room, leaving everything behind. Later, she pointed to a strange doll hanging in the corner, one she claimed was given to her by a friend who told her that it was cursed, but she didn't believe it back then. Manchester haunting. In the early morning of November 1st, 2012, CCTV cameras inside Castlefield House in Manchester recorded something truly unsettling. Security guards checking the live feed watched as empty office rooms turned chaotic. Chairs slid across the floor, monitors flickered, and piles of paper flew into the air. Yet no one was inside. The footage quickly spread online, and to this day, people still wonder what exactly unfolded that night. Ghostly activity.
Bismillah!
This is what happens when you decide to venture into a haunted place. The man recording started reciting religious verses as soon as the toy started moving. Its head went up, and then just as quickly as it all started, everything went quiet. He moved closer and even kicked it in fear.
La ilaha illallah! La 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 la.
Whether or not you believe it's real, the sheer terror in the man's voice is disturbing.
La ilaha illallah!
Scary encounter. They were investigating a rumor when this paranormal team came across something truly horrifying. They first saw an unidentified figure hiding behind the tall grass before it walked out of there in a strange manner. The entire forest was already spooky and eerily silent when they started noticing other unexplainable events. Another figure was seen that was nerve-wracking close to the crew.
Like how far away? How far away?
After more scary incidents took place, he left the area, but were followed by the same unknown individual. They managed to escape, but just barely.
Oh, he's running, bro. Holy.
Ritual gone wrong. At home, a man started a cleansing ritual. He walked from room to room with sage, trying to clear away negative energy. As he moved, the cross on his wall slowly turned upside down. Then the items around him began to move without reason.
So come back. I ask you to leave forever.
Each shift felt stronger than the last. It was as if something in the house did not want him there.
I'm blessed this house.
Feeling scared, he rushed outside, leaving behind a room filled with an uneasy stillness.
In the name of Jesus Christ, leave my home right away.
Smoky figure. It was very late at night when a California homeowner got a motion alert on their phone. They opened the security camera and saw something strange. A smoky figure shaped like a person was moving slowly past the parked cars. It didn't look like anyone they knew. It wasn't an animal either. After a few steps, it faded into the dark and was gone. The street was quiet, but the sight left the homeowner uneasy, wondering what had walked through their driveway in those early hours. Midnight figures. A man shared a strange video from his brother's building. The CCTV showed dark, blurry shapes that looked like people walking out of a house. One by one, they moved across the street and disappeared into a wall. People who live nearby say they have seen these shadows before. Some claim the figures have slapped them out of nowhere, and those people became sick for months. Locals believe it is not a camera trick, but something real that people should be careful of. Church nun. While exploring an abandoned church with a dark past, these urban explorers came across something truly nightmarish. The ghost of a nun was caught on camera sitting at one of the benches, looking directly at the explorers. This scared them, obviously, so they decided to get out of this haunted place. It is said that this church was abandoned after some really disturbing news came out, and she has been seen inside ever since. Unfortunately, the news cannot be traced, and the father of the church mysteriously vanished just 3 weeks after it happened.
Hello?
Midnight apparition. A video that spread across Facebook shows a man's frightening encounter with something he could not explain. It happened just after midnight on February 22nd, 2016. The man was riding his motorcycle alone when he saw a woman in white standing in the middle of the road. She vanished in an instant. But only seconds later, she appeared again. This time, right in front of him. Fear took over. He abandoned his bike and ran as fast as he could. He made it out unharmed, but the memory has stayed with him ever since. Window figure. Taking out the trash at night is always super creepy. And at around 5 a.m., a man stepped outside to throw out the trash. But on his way back in, he froze. There was a figure standing at his window. It didn't move, but its arm rested strangely on the glass, its face oddly unclear, almost unfinished. Then, without a sound, the window slowly shut by itself. He ran inside, only to find the room completely empty. If someone had been there, they'd vanished faster than the sound of the latch clicking shut. Night visitors. Late one night in the United States, a security camera caught something unusual. A see-through object was floating silently in the sky. Without warning, it released several glowing shapes. These shapes moved smoothly, almost as if they were gliding toward the ground. They made no sound and had no clear form, only light. Some believe this was proof of alien visitors. Others think they came from a different realm entirely. No matter the theory, the sight left people speechless. Burial site shop. In the middle of a normal workday at a local barbershop, chaos started with one strange movement. A chair covered in a blue cloth moved on its own. One employee, Fernando Alvarez, clearly fed up with the strange happenings, walked out right then and there. Later, he asked the other staff members to review the footage. What they saw was disturbing. There was no one near the chair, no reason for it to move, and yet, it did. The shop owner, Miguel Angel, told Fernando that the shop was built over an old Native American burial site, which might explain this eerie paranormal activity. Strange feet. In Yemen, a shopkeeper kept Quranic prayers playing softly inside his store. During the early hours of October 10th, 2024, around 2 a.m., a woman walked in. Her voice was gentle at first, but soon it carried an unsettling tone. She asked for money, then left without saying much more. Although it can't be properly seen in the footage, according to the shop owner, her feet and legs were quite disturbing. They looked more like hooves than human feet.
طيب طيب.
Creepy tall shadow. When something's too tall to fit through a doorway, you hope it never tries. A woman was heading downstairs to visit a shop when the hood of her jacket was yanked hard, knocking her down. She spun around. No one. Then, from around the corner, a tall, shadowy figure appeared, so big it had to duck to enter. She ran to the kitchen, yelling at it to stop.
Leave me alone!
It charged. She barely made it to the bathroom and locked the door, her dogs barking like mad. That's when she realized the door wasn't the only thing between her and it. The only thing was time. Ouija curse. Some actions you take can never be reversed. The following clip is a disturbing example of that. A man in Minnesota tried an Ouija board for fun, expecting nothing. But afterward, his dreams turned strange, and his sleep felt heavy, like something was watching. One night, his home camera caught it. While he slept, an invisible force grabbed his legs and dragged him across the bed. He woke in shock, scrambling to escape. Now he wonders if the board didn't just answer his questions. It let something in, and it never left. Old house creeper. If you think your house is haunted, sometimes it's better not to check. A man living in an old home decided to test his suspicions. Before leaving for church, he set up a camera in the kitchen. What it caught was unsettling. Objects falling for no reason and shadowy shapes flickering into view. He wasn't home, but something else clearly was. When he watched the footage later, the question wasn't whether his home was haunted. It was what exactly was living there with him. Stairs shadow. Old buildings keep old memories, and sometimes the people in them. This woman's house used to be a doctor's office from before the Civil War. She'd heard stories, but one night, her camera showed the proof of dark, human-shaped shadows gliding through the living room and slowly climbing the stairs. No footsteps, no voices, just silent figures moving like they'd never left, and maybe never will. Patient comes back. Around 3 a.m., CCTV at the Finochetio Sanatorium in Argentina caught what can only be explained as paranormal. The hospital's sliding doors slid open on their own, but no one was there. A security guard still greeted the invisible guest, checked the logbook, and even brought a wheelchair. Later, he insisted a tall woman had walked in, even writing her name down. Yet the cameras showed nothing at all, leaving everyone to wonder, who or what did he see? The most common explanation is that he was talking to a ghost of a patient that might have come back. Vanishing figure. On March 29, 2024, a security camera in Chalatenango, El Salvador, recorded something strange in a quiet field. A figure was walking slowly among the animals. Its legs and head were visible, but the arms never moved, and its steps looked too smooth to be natural. Then, without any warning, the figure disappeared completely. The animals kept grazing as if nothing had happened. Viewers of the footage were left stunned, wondering if they had just seen a spirit, a glitch in reality, or something else no one can explain. School ghost caught. It was late at night, so a couple of students decided to explore their school after hearing multiple ghost stories. Little did they know, these stories were real. Just outside one of their classrooms, they saw something move across their field of vision and went inside their school. What's strange is that according to the students, they didn't see anything, but once they sat down to review the footage, they took a screenshot of the ghost. It is said that this is the trapped soul of a school janitor that passed away almost 13 years ago. Bedroom intrusion. Late at night, the house was still when a soft knocking came from the bedroom door. It woke the woman from her sleep. She turned to wake her partner, but he wouldn't move, as if trapped in a deep, unnatural sleep. The security camera in the room later revealed a glowing orb drifting silently through the air. Moments later, the door creaked open on its own.
Oh, baby, wake up! What the fuck? What the fuck, baby? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Something just...
She screamed as something nearby fell to the floor, breaking the silence in the most chilling way.
What the fuck? Baby! Wake up! Why the fuck are you awake? Are you okay?
Haunted doll. A home security camera recorded a quiet room with mint green walls and a few scattered decorations. In one corner, a doll sat on a chair, unmoving. After a few seconds, its head began to turn. Until it faced the camera, no one was in the room, and nothing around it seemed to cause the movement. The unsettling clip spread quickly online, with many people debating whether it was a prank, a trick, or something far stranger. Basement chase. Basements are creepy, and this one managed to catch a cat's attention and was fixed on an old doll resting in the corner. From the doll, a dark shadow like mist began to rise. Moments later, the mist moved toward the cat, almost as if chasing it. The frightened cat bolted out of view, its panic clear in the footage. Viewers were left unsettled, wondering if the doll carried something paranormal, or if there was another explanation hiding in the shadows. Backyard shadows. On April 21st, 2025, a Reddit user posted a video that left many uneasy. They said their security alarms had gone off after detecting motion, even though no one was there. In the footage, faint shadows moved slowly across the room. The shapes were unclear, but something about them didn't feel normal. Viewers argued over what the sensors had picked up, whether it was a trick of the light or something unseen moving through the space. Camera captured Angel. In 2019, a CCTV clip surfaced showing a moment that seemed almost impossible. A man was about to walk into danger when someone appeared behind him, tapped him on the shoulder, and warned him. Seconds after he moved away, the danger passed. But when he turned to thank the person, no one was there. The helper had vanished without a trace, leaving people to wonder if it was pure chance or something beyond human explanation. Haunted Auditorium. Paranormal investigator Anna was alone in an empty auditorium, packing up her gear. Nothing much was happening inside the place for a while, but 20 minutes into her investigation, she heard a faint sound, like something moving just behind her. She turned, expecting to see someone, but there was no one there. Then came footsteps, fast ones, coming right toward her.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Her heart raced. She realized she wasn't alone and ran out of the building as fast as she could, saving herself from whatever was coming to take her.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Terrifying night shift. A man was working the night shift at a company in Singapore. Everything was quiet until an alarm suddenly went off. He got up, walked around, and found nothing wrong. He had just sat back down when a loud noise came from the entrance. As he walked over to check, the office door slammed shut on its own. At that same moment, a chair slid slowly across the floor. That was enough for him. He grabbed his things and left without looking back. Disturbing creature. Keep your doors locked and your windows shut, or a creepy creature will haunt your sleep. This dude was sleeping unaware that something opened his bedroom curtains. Since it was the middle of the night, the guy was dead asleep. Something was right outside his window, stalking him as he drifted more into peaceful slumber. The creature was incredibly creepy, and there is something so sinister about its face and the way it was moving around. There is no creation of God that looks as bizarre as this right here. Check your windows next time you go to sleep. Moving statue.
Aguanta, espérate, ey. Shh, no te muevas. No mames, no te muevas ahí.
It was late at night when two friends walked through an empty park. That's when they saw it. A figure in white standing still on the sidewalk ahead. But it wasn't a person. It was a statue, the kind meant for tourists. Or at least, it was supposed to be still. The statue moved. The shift wasn't small. It was clear on camera. Curious but nervous, one of them walked closer. Locals still say that the statue carries something far darker than fairy tale magic.
Enfoque bien. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey. Eso no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, güey.
Supernatural entities. Dogs bark at a lot of things, but almost never at nothing. Near a facility in Chile, a security camera caught a dark shape running fast through the trees, before vanishing into thin air. Moments earlier, dogs nearby had been barking like they'd seen a stranger, even though no one was there. The owner stepped outside, nothing. But when he checked the footage later, he realized the dogs weren't barking at nothing. They were barking at something he wished wasn't real. Glowing saint. This video surprised me, to say the least. When I first watched it, I thought it was someone practicing their spiritual powers out in the open. This person is said to be a saint of a nearby village, and I thought he or she was on the ground channeling their aura. But it turns out, this glowing saint was in the sky as they slowly levitated above the ground before the person started recording. Whoever this saint was has certainly achieved a spiritual level far beyond what is humanly possible. Disturbing dark figure.
Someone was walking by, bro, and they just disappeared when they got by the tree.
Some night shifts are quiet. Others are the kind you don't talk about again. Two security guards spotted a dark figure standing perfectly still in the distance. One filmed, while the other moved closer, only for the figure to shift and vanish into the shadows without a single sound. The clip was short, but so was their nerves.
Oh, Regina! Ahí va saliendo! What the fuck? Mira!
Jinn inside mosque. Some places are silent because they're sacred. Others, because something is listening. In a mosque in Bengkulu, Indonesia, a worshiper felt his chest getting heavy, so he looked around and saw this. As he started recording, a dark figure peered down from the ceiling, watching everyone inside the mosque. Some say it was a jinn, others fear it was something worse, but people agree that it wasn't there to pray, but rather prey on someone. Hallway shadow. A neighbor agreed to keep an eye on an elderly woman's home while she was away. For a while, everything seemed fine until faint noises began echoing from inside. One afternoon, she went to check and froze. A shadowy figure stood in the hallway of the empty house. She didn't wait to see if it moved. She just knew this was one favor she wouldn't be repeating.
There's nobody in that house. There's nobody.
Night Phantom. In Mentor, Ohio, police responded to calls about a woman running alone late at night. One officer swore he saw her, moving unnaturally fast, but when he got out to investigate, she was gone. This is the only proof of this ghostly woman being there. Some locals think she's a ghost from the area's past that didn't have a good ending to her life. If that's true, she's still running. But no one knows from what.
running, but it looked like they were standing up too straight and moving too fast. And then he got out of the car. He said there was no one there, and the dash cam didn't pick anything up either.
The subscriber's pick. Captured somewhere in India, a person saw a strange-looking individual walking around the city streets. It's hard to tell if this was a man or a woman, and some even think this wasn't a human at all. The person's features were sharp and unlike any human seen before, almost reptilian in nature. But this person wasn't a reptilian. They don't like to reveal themselves so openly. With practically no information to rely on, and nothing was revealed by the original uploader as well. This footage remains unanswered. But what do you think this being was? Comment below, and thank you for watching.